Welcome back to the Consumer Advice Series on the About Mansfield podcast page. I'm Steve Casillo, your host for the next 10 minutes or so. And this is our third and final Consumer Advice Series episode for today, Friday, January 21st. Earlier this morning, we talked about migraines with Dr. Joseph Adams. Just about an hour ago, we talked about building your wealth with wealth advisor Philip Washington Jr. And now it's January, and you know what January means. It's not only a new year, and it's time to join the gym and take care of those New Year's resolutions. No. January is the start of tax season. And so for the next several weeks, right here, 12 noon every Friday, streaming live on Facebook, we are going to be talking with tax manager from Jack Lotteryman CPA PC, which, by the way, this episode is brought to you by Jack Lotteryman CPA PC. Let's welcome Adam Coen to About Mansfield. Adam,
How are you doing, Steve? It's good to talk with you.
absolutely. Thanks for being here. And first of all, since this is the first episode of our series that we're going to be doing, why don't we take about 30 seconds or a minute to introduce yourself and what you do for Jack Lotteryman CPA.
Sure. I have been in this industry for 14, almost 15 years. And I started out actually working in tax law firms. So I was working for tax attorneys dealing with complicated tax issues, fixing those. So I approached it kind of from a different perspective than somebody who came out of, maybe a big four situation. I come from it from a how do you stay out of trouble? Where are the landmines and what are the most common ones? So that's transitioned into I ran my own firm for a long time. I sold that and I went into working for Jack as his manager for tax and anything under the sun that deals with tax, that's under my purview, and that's what I enjoy doing.
And as I mentioned at the top, it is January. January marks the beginning of tax season, and seems a little weird, but a lot of it's COVID related. That there
Yep.
are actually some people out there that have not received their 2021, meaning their taxes that they filed for year 2020. They've not received their 2021 tax refund, and what can consumers do about that if they fall into that category?
Yeah, and believe me, we still have a lot of clients that are in the same boat. There's a couple of factors that went into this. And number one was if you had a large refund, anything over about $10,000, automatically it was going to get held up. And so we're still waiting on paper checks for those people, unfortunately. The other side of it was anyone who had a stimulus payment that they received throughout the year that they maybe either didn't claim correctly or uh, there was some question as to whether it was correct. That has delayed things because the IRS is verifying whether those are right. And then lastly was there were some new procedures put in place to verify identities to make sure that people weren't getting their refunds stolen. All three of those things have slowed things down. If you have filed and you're still waiting and you haven't received a letter, it is worth trying to get on the phone if you can get through. But I will forewarn you, it's a 3, 4, 5 hour process right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Amended returns, normally 16 weeks for processing. We're looking at 24 to 30 weeks. So hang in there, but go ahead and plan to file your next year's return regardless.
You mentioned the stimulus check, so that
Yeah.
has to be declared as income, and you're going to pay tax on it?
Not necessarily, but you do have to reconcile it on your return.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, you've got to report it, but just because you're reporting it doesn't mean you're paying tax on it.
And does that same apply to small businesses? Got the idle loans, and I guess those, I don't know. Are they payments? Are they gifts?
It's a non-tax. Well, it depends. Okay, so there is a grant portion of the idle loans. It's a non-taxable grant. The idle loans, of course, are loans, so you're repaying the forgivable. And so, to the extent that they were forgiven, no tax. There is there is a component of that in your accounting that has to be handled and on your tax return, but no tax due on that. But the advanced child tax credit is one that people started getting through the second half of the year. And if you got those, you're going to have to reconcile that just like you did with your stimulus checks. And if they're not right, it's going to cause another one of these delays.
And let's go back to those delays. So your
Yeah.
2020 return has still not been processed. Should you wait to file your 2021 return and wait until your 2020 has been processed?
You know that the inclination I have is to say no, don't wait to file. However, I would say it's worth having a conversation with whoever is your professional about what may be the reason that the delay is happening. How long have you been waiting, and is there a letter out there that you've missed? And if those are the those factors are all addressed, then it might be you go ahead and you file as you normally would. But there may be a couple of situations where you might want to delay or either file an extension or wait until later in this part of the year. So
And
closer to April.
this also applies not only to businesses, but it applies to both the consumer and to business owners.
Yes, but I would say that by and large, we haven't seen the delays on the business side like we have on the 1040, the personal side.
Okay. And how long are the delays?
Massive. Well, I can tell you, as somebody who has to fix tax problems and send things into the IRS, I have repeatedly sent the same letter, maybe 6 or 7 times on one client, and not received any kind of response. And so we're talking 6 months
Oh,
in some
wow.
cases. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And keeping in mind that the IRS does not make phone calls. You are not going to receive a
Right.
phone call from the IRS.
Right. That's right. You're gonna get a letter if you get anything. The only other type of thing you'd ever get is a knock on the door, but they're really not doing that right now because of COVID.
Have you seen have you seen that actually happen where
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, they come out and they knock on your door?
yeah. Now, if they come knock on your door and they say, "Hi, I'm from the IRS," they're going to hand you a card and a letter telling you why they're there. And sometimes they come to your office, sometimes they come to your home. But like I said, right now they're really slow to contact that way. They'd rather send you a letter.
So again, to recap, if your 2020 return, which you filed in 2021,
Hmm.
has not been processed, contact the IRS,
Attempt to contact the IRS,
which is a
uh,
several-hour process.
which is a several-hour process by phone. Go online to their website, irs.gov. Establish yourself an online account. You can view your account through their website. You do have to have a copy of your prior year return, but that's another step you can take to see if maybe they have tried to communicate with you there.
And in the meantime, go ahead and file your 2021 returns,
Plan to, yeah.
plan to, which are filed right here in 2022.
Hmm.
If any consumers out there had some more questions about filing their taxes, whether it's the 2020 unprocessed, the 2021 taxes, which are going to be filed here in 22, if someone had more questions, how can they reach out to Adam Coen?
Yeah, you can call me directly. The office number here is 817-231-0666. Again, 231-0666. It sounds like tax devils. I promise you we're good. So we're that's the easiest way, or you can go on our website, which is jacklottermancpa.com. And we're full service. We do everything from accounting to tax planning and fractional CFO work for our larger clients and all that kind of stuff that we enjoy doing. We're having a lot of fun doing it.
Adam, this is just the beginning. Welcome to, again, the very first consumer advice series. And we're going to be doing this live on Facebook every Friday at 12 noon. Appreciate you, you as the viewer, as the listener, for tuning in. And Adam, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
You too, Steve. Appreciate you. Bye.